This right here is my new to me 2010 Holden Colorado that I just purchased from the salvage auctions, and it might possibly be the worst thing I've bought to date. And just to clarify, I have bought multiple cars out of the salvage auctions, fixed them, flipped them, and driven them as a daily driver, and I still do that to this date. Today though, I think I've bought my first loss, a car that I just think might be too far gone, and that being this Holden Colorado right here. And that being because of this front damage right here. In the pictures, it didn't look so bad. In reality, it's pretty damn bad. So let's free up the front wheel here, which doesn't turn, the steering that doesn't move, and drive this thing into the backyard, and let's explain the backstory. There's two really important things right now. Number one, this wheel is locked tight. Car doesn't move, doesn't steer. How am I going to get it around the corner into the backyard? I'm not. Number two, once that's all cleared up and we can actually move this car and push it to the backyard, worst case scenario, we have a really important question. Does the engine run? This is a terrible purchase, I think, as it is, but if that motor doesn't run, it's the worst by far. So we're handheld for a sec, we have a jack underneath the chassis rail. The issue we're having is with this bent back piece here, hard fouling against the tyre. You can actually see where it's been rubbing. It's time for a sledgehammer, make our own clearance. All right, I certainly don't think I've ever sweat this much in the rain, and it's like 10 degrees outside and I am pouring the sweat. I've improvised, I've made it work. I've made enough clearance here that I can at least drive this thing into my backyard, have a tidy up myself, then I'll show you around the car. From what I've seen, it ain't looking pretty. Before we do that, probably even the most important question, pretty sure the chassis is no good. Does it even run? Is it terrible? Is it completely terrible? Or is it at least semi-okay mechanically? Let's find out. Oh yeah, did I mention the driver's door doesn't close? Oh, it's wet in here. In neutral, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It is dead flat. The sound of the door closing. Let's grab a jump pack, chuck this bad boy on. Let's have a look. The fan hard against the radiator. The radiator still full of coolant. Probably about all we need to check. Got oil? Must do. I don't know why there'd be any reason for it not to leak oil, but I just cannot be bothered in this weather to even check it. Overflow's full, green coolant, radiator support, heavily bent and now cut. Let's crank it over. Come to think of it, to put that on boost. Oh, she's alive. She is alive. She's in neutral. Sounds all right, to be fair. Sounds like every other 4J I've ever heard. Let's get this thing out in the backyard. I'm sick of working on it out here in the rain. I'm getting very wet. Here's the funny thing. I value a thing called realism. Jump lead, passenger floor. I've got a battery there because the moment this thing would run for longer than 30 seconds, my jump pack would cut out, it would die. But wait, it gets better because that battery doesn't have enough power to start the car. So you've got to jump start it, hook that battery up before the jump starter kicks out, then it runs the car, then you cart it out the back here and you forget about it forever. Alrighty, so here it is in the backyard. What an absolute epic to get it out here, but at least it's dry and the weather has turned. The timing is perfect. Look, this is definitely damaged further than I hoped. I don't know what I'm going to do with it at this stage just yet. However, for those of you that don't know, this Holden Colorado, probably a brand you've never even heard of, has the Isuzu, the legendary Isuzu 4JJ1 engine. If you don't know what that is, it's a light truck engine that was fitted to small trucks. This engine was also fitted to a couple of passenger vehicles. This Colorado here being one of them. It has the legendary 4JJ1 3-litre turbo diesel engine. Not only are these things incredibly reliable and well and truly known to do 5, 6, 700,000 kilometers, they also respond really well to tuning. With a big set of injectors, a big turbo, it's not uncommon to get 300 horsepower and 900 newton meters of torque at the wheels on one of these things. And it's rear wheel drive. And it has a 5-speed gearbox. So the question on everyone's mind, including my own, is why did I even buy this thing? And well, the honest truth of it is I have a massive soft spot for the 4Js. I actually brought our son home from hospital in the 4JJ1 D-Max that I used to own. I, due to financial reasons at the time, replaced it with a Rodeo that was a bit of a cheaper car, but same engine. Ever since I got rid of that Rodeo to replace with my 100 series, I've wanted to get another 4J. Specifically though, I've wanted to get a 2-wheel drive with the low rider suspension, smaller wheels, coil front instead of torsion bar, and do a build on one of these, crank it up to 300 horsepower and have a rear-wheel drive 5-speed manual, very fun car to drive. And to be completely honest, I've actually been looking for one of these for like 4 months, and they just aren't easy to find, especially the 2-wheel drive, exactly as this one is. I would say in the 4 months, I probably found about 6, of which most of them were about $7,000-$8,000, which I think is too much money for one of these, but none of them were any cheaper, or they were absolutely on the other side of the country, and there was no way I was going for a $6,000 car to WA to bring one home. So when this popped up on Pickles Auctions, I saw it, it was local, and to be honest, I kind of became attached to it for no other reason other than it was close to home and there was a chance I was going to get it cheap, which I do think I paid reasonably cheap amount of money for it, but obviously the condition reflects that. And to be completely honest, the pictures of this car from the auctions actually made it look like half a decent thing. Not only did the damage not look anywhere near as bad as it is, but the actual car looked in good condition, which, to be quite frank, it actually is. So naturally, having developed some sort of attachment to the car after seeing a decent set of photos, I threw $2,000 at this car and thought, well, what's the worst that can happen? And well, quite frankly, when you throw $2,000 at a ship box on the auctions, and it is a ship box, you win it. This car cost me $2,000. So obviously, having won the car, it was time to pick it up. I borrowed a car trailer from a mate of mine and drove it down to the auctions where the car was located, handed me the paperwork over the desk, gave me the key to the car, said it's out the back, reverse your trailer out and go and grab it. And as I got out there, well, clearly I realised the damage was far worse than I originally thought. Not only that, but there was going to be absolutely no way known I was going to physically be able to move this car, at least without not doing the panel repair, moving, manoeuvring, manipulating that I had to do just before to even drive it out into my backyard. Unfortunately, I hired a trailer for no reason and had to pay for a tow truck to get this thing dropped off to my house. Well, to be honest with you, whether I like it or not, I am stuck with this car. I did pay for it. I do own it. Here it is in my backyard. Whether I like it or not, this is my car. Look, the reality of it is, in the next episode, I'm going to strip down the front end panels. We're going to have a look to see the actual extent of the damage on the non-removable panels, as well as the chassis rail, the top arm section that holds the guard on. That's probably a proper name for that. And we're going to see where we go from there with it. But that is my terrible auction purchase that I have just received. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if it's going to be worth repairing. I don't know if I'm just pulling a motor out. At least it runs. But with that being said, I'll catch you in the next video where I'm pulling the panels off the front of it.